DAZN 1059 and worldwide at DAZN1059.com.
And away we go. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents all across the state. Here we are today on a, what has it become all of a sudden? It's become a Thursday. It's a Thursday. I regretfully was not able to be on the air with you yesterday. Nobody's fault but mine. But got all that squared away, and lo and behold, here we are today on a Thursday. So we're one day closer to baseball. This will be what? I mean, officially today and tonight will be baseball eve because tomorrow's opening day. That's on the table. If you want to get into all that, it's cool with me. I think you've got some basketball playoffs going on because, and the reason I think that without actually knowing, all the high school schedule is because my friend Philip Prince from Prince Oil Company and Junction Delis across the state of Mississippi, he's like the patriarch of a basketball family. They all play at very high levels. His son, Samuel, just became the all-time leading scorer in his high school's history. He's way up over 3,000 points, and he's got a daughter playing at Southern Miss, and Philip played at Southern Miss himself. He's on social media, and he's taking it to a whole different level. Like, it's just on a whole different level. All of that and more on the table today. And if you're on the live stream, hey to you. What's up? Out there in YouTube and Facebook, X land, feel free to drop a comment in there. If you post a comment, if you're watching the live stream, it pops up. All of them do in one place right here on the screen. I can see them all. And then I can click it and put your comment up on the screen. You can be a part of the show that way. That's one way to join the conversation. It's essentially like, plopping down, pull up a chair, plop down at the table, pour some hot coffee in your mug from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Go to highpointroasters.com. Get yours right there. So, yeah. You can also text the show on the Country Pleasin' text line. Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best, hands down. Not close, in my opinion. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. So text me. And you can also call me on the aforementioned Junction phone line. It's wide open to you here on this Thursday. And the number to call is 897-1059. 601 number, 897-1059. Let me hear from you here today. I got to talk a little Hollywood trivia with my friend Beaver. We'll get a little Hollywood Did You Know going because I didn't know this. It's something popped up on my feed over here on X. First of all, Beaver, happy Thursday. How you feeling?
I'm good, Matt Wyatt.
Oh, boy.
All good over here.
Okay. What, when I say Hollywood, that still means, big time entertainment, television, and movies, right? If I say Hollywood, that's still what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Beaver, I put this video out. I guess it went out yesterday. I got to be on the team when he was on the team at State, but he was a great player, all SEC offensive lineman named Robert Hicks. Robert's from Georgia, came to Mississippi State, played for Jackie Sherrill, was a starter on the offensive line at right tackle for a bunch of years. Big-time player in the 90s when they were running the ball. Then Robert Hicks got drafted by the Bills in the 3rd round. He was on some good teams there for the Bills. He was a 3-year starter at right tackle in the NFL. Anyway, the Hollywood trivia on him, Beaver, I don't know if you knew this. I don't know if we've ever talked about it. But in the movie The Blind Side, about Michael Oher. All the action scenes that you see where it's this big football player, looks like Michael Oher, blocking people and throwing them over the fence and all that. I don't know if you remember the movie. All those action scenes, Robert Hicks, the former offensive lineman at Mississippi State and for the Buffalo Bills, was the stunt double that was actually doing all that stuff in the movie The Blind Side. Did you know that previously? Had we talked about it?
No, I had no idea.
It's pretty cool, huh? I mean, it's a interesting little piece of Egg Bowl trivia there. Yeah, so if you go back and Beav, I don't know how much you remember about that movie, The Blind Side. I honestly saw the movie one time, but I'm still familiar with it. I only watched it one time. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but for example, you had the scene at the high school practice where, it's like the light bulb finally comes on for Michael Oher and he starts driving these defensive linemen down the field and stuff. You remember that? Mm-hmm. You go back and watch that. Of course, it's not the main actor who played Michael Oher. That's actually Robert Hicks off of our football teams in the 90s at State, who's the stunt double doing all that kind of. If you go look at the credits on the movie, there it is, stunts. There's his name. Pretty interesting, huh? So then this, Beav. I posted that video or shared that video on X so that the people that follow me on X could see it if they wanted to. Well, none other than Winslow. On this show, Beaver, we lovingly know him as Winslow. None other than Winslow responded to that video about Robert Hicks and making his appearance in Hollywood. He said, yeah, I remember Robert. And basically said, I even remember Miles Keefe. Now, what he meant was Miles O'Keefe. And I clicked it. He shared 4 pictures of some guy from like the 70s. He's in movies in the 70s. And what it is, it's Miles O'Keefe. Okay, but get this, Beav. I have never heard this name before. For whatever reason, I'd never heard the name before. But it's a guy from, let's see, acting, it was the 80s. I said 70s, in the 80s. He was in the 1981 movie Tarzan, and then he's in all kinds of other movies as like as a stuntman, but also an actor. Well, this guy, Miles O'Keefe, for a period of time in the 70s, played football at Mississippi State. I don't know if you can see that on X, Beav. I almost said Twitter, on X, but you can see the pictures. Tarzan, the Ape Man, 1981. Ator, the Fighting Eagle, 1982. Blade Master, 1984. Sword of the Valiant, The Legend of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, 1984. Lone Runner, 1986. Iron Warrior, 87. Double Target, 87. Campus Man, 87. Waxwork, The Drifter. Phantom Raiders in 88. He's in like all these kinds of super duper action thriller. He's like this muscled up guy. Yeah, from little old Ripley, Tennessee, who initially was a high school star football player. Initially went to the Air Force Academy Prep School, transfers to Mississippi State on a football scholarship in 1973. I bring it up simply because, one, I had no earthly idea. Two, it's very indicative of what goes on this radio show a lot of times. And that is, as opposed to me bringing information here that other people need to know or have never heard, it's people who listen to this show bringing information to me that I've never heard or didn't previously know. Anyway, you learn something new every day. Look up Miles O'Keefe. He was in Tarzan. Now, Beav, before we move on real quick, I got to ask you, do you say Tarzan or Tarzan?
Tarzan.
Okay. So it's like two equally emphasized syllables.
Yeah.
Tarzan. How do you feel about people who say Tarzan?
Tarzan.
Anyway, there he is, former Mississippi State Bulldog offensive lineman. I found it funny, Beaver. I was reading an article about him. It said when he was playing on the offensive line at Mississippi State, it said he ballooned up to 240 pounds. And this is 1973. You were 240 pounds. You were a huge offensive lineman back then. Now it's 440 pounds. It's huge. All right, just getting started with you on this Thursday. Headlines coming up. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. That's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple. Bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah, tried and true. Magnolia Blend.
Talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, here we go. Just getting started with you here today on this Thursday in the Farm Bureau Insurance studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. Headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. So anything mortgage related, that's where you want to go, whether it's here in the metro or other parts of the state too. Oxford, Starkville, Tupelo, all the way to Memphis and into Memphis. Anything mortgage related, that's where you want to go. Start right there at mortgagemanms.com. Mortgagemanms.com. First up, a couple of losses again for State and Ole Miss men's basketball. Ole Miss at home last night got walloped by Alabama. 19-point loss at home to Alabama. Ole Miss falls to 3-8 in the league, and State fell to 3-8 in the league last night at home at the Hump with a 9-point loss at home to Tennessee. So the L's are piling up for men's basketball around here. Then we get some bad news, or just not so fun to talk about news. BYU wide receiver Parker Kingston has been charged with first-degree felony rape. Washington County, Utah Attorney's Office. Charge comes from after a nearly year-long investigation that began when he was 20 years old. When a 20-year-old woman reported it to officers at a hospital there. And so he has, after this long investigation, he has officially been charged. Awful news out west. A community college bus carrying the community college baseball team for Iowa Lakes Community College crashed yesterday. It overturned in a ditch in rural Iowa, and one person was killed. Injuries to 32 other people in the bus. One person was killed in the crash. Just awful. That's Iowa Lakes Community College and their baseball team. And then you have this over in the world of college football. Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group. Montana linebacker. Now, I'm going to read the name. This is actually the name. Montana linebacker Solomon Tuliaupupu. That's the name. Just trust me. He used to play at USC. He's transferred to Montana. Solomon Tuliaupupu is going to return for the 2026 season after being granted a 9th year of eligibility by the NCAA. This kid, Solomon Tuliaupupu, turns 26 years old next month. And he's going into his second year at Montana after he started his collegiate career at USC in 2018. He was sidelined for his entire undergraduate, campaign at USC after 2 surgery-requiring injuries that impacted his foot in 2018 and then another one on his knee in 2020. Okay, his first season at Montana, that was his 8th season overall, was just his second full season played, 3rd with game action. And that's the justification for doing this. All right, again, The kid graduated from high school in 2017. He turns 26 years old next month. He has had some injuries. This is his 9th year of eligibility this coming fall, 2026. And when I was looking that up to find the pronunciation, and I eventually found it, that is the correct pronunciation of his name. 𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷. But when I was looking it up, I found it funny how many people, media people even, when they would talk about this story or talk about him, they won't even attempt to pronounce his last name. They just say T. They call him Solomon T. And then finally, this headline. We got one more. There's a bunch of them. We got this one. Headline number 5? In a letter to NCAA President Charlie Baker, the Big Ten Conference Student Athlete Issues Commission. The Big Ten Conference Student Athlete Issues Commission has called for a continued push to limit or outright ban prop bets that are based on individual college athletes. They want to reduce harassment and protect mental health and game integrity. This Student Athlete Issues Commission wrote 2 days ago that student athletes are receiving angry messages, threats, or criticism from bettors when they lose. And it includes from fans who sit behind the bench yelling horrible things and on social media. How do you feel about all that? Those are your headlines, brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. mortgagemanms.com. Moose Dog, regarding the Montana player, texted in and said, does he have 1 degree yet? All right, graduated high school 2017. Saw the field for the first time as a redshirt senior in 2022 and played in all 14 games that year for the Trojans. Sidelined with injuries in 23, missed the whole year. I see nothing in the article that even references a degree or academics in any way. But I agree with you. He's going into his 9th year in college. What was that line from the movie Tommy Boy? You remember when David Spade's playing the part of Richard and Chris Farley's playing the part of Tommy? And Tommy gets off the plane and Richard's picking him up and he says something about college. And Tommy says, yeah, a lot of people go to school for 7 years. And then David Spade responds, yeah, I know they're called doctors. I mean, it's like you could see it coming from a mile away, but you get the joke. Nick references it, quote, a lot of people go to college for 7 years. Yeah, I know they're called doctors. Sven says, just wrong, Matt. 𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷𝐷 should not be allowed to play. And Bulldog Mississippi with a zinger, he commented on YouTube and said he's as old as, and then gave me the poop emoji there. It's a good joke, whatever. Oh, and finally, this is probably the biggest headline, so we saved the best for last. Somebody, a Hail State fan, referencing it here. How about a congratulations to Brett Morgan, head football coach at West Point High School. It's announced today that the news has emerged today that he is leaving and taking the head coaching position at Starkville High School. So that's right. So Brett Morgan, the youngest of the Morgan family that's in coaching right now, is leaving West Point. He's going to take the Starkville job. And news of that popping up out there. We'd heard about it, down the line over the last couple of days, but now that it's out there, now everybody knows. So thanks for bringing that to the show also. Sven, are you talking about baseball? Sven says we play the hardest schedule in the SEC. By week 3, we're going to know what state is all about. He mentioned Arizona State and UCLA, so maybe you're factoring in the non-conference Is there a composite baseball schedule somewhere out there where I can look? They don't have one that's like the helmet schedule, do they? I don't think they do have that. But. Well, I tell you, Texas got, I don't know if you saw that, Sven. Go look at Texas's baseball schedule. They got a great draw this year for just how it rotated and how it worked out. All right. What do you think? Coming to your text messages on the Country Pleasing text line in a bit from More Bully and Moose Dog and all y'all. And then on the live stream, Gene on Facebook and Bulldog, Mississippi and Hale State Fan and Brad and Sven. I'm coming to all those. Your comments when we come back in the Bureau. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Deli's Convenience Redefined and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you've listened to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire. Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m.
You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone.
Matt Wyatt is in the house on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Spring is slowly but surely on the way. What are they saying is going to be the first day of spring? 2026. Does it depend on where you live? I mean, I think it does. What part of the globe? What hemisphere? I don't really know. Farmer's Almanac. I can report. I saw this a couple of weeks ago too. They were going to do away with the Farmer's Almanac, but somebody has bought it and they're going to keep it going. So that's good news. And we're looking at March the 20th. The March equinox happens on March the 20th at about 10:45 a.m. So just a hair over a month from right now, it'll be spring. And the reason I was thinking about that is because, get this, y'all, some of y'all that, property owners, homeowners that got a little space and you're maybe out of town, you're going to know. But my dad and I were texting during the break. He told me that he just saw a martin, the little birds, the purple martins, and he put up his gourds that they're going to live in this year yesterday. He sees the purple martin today, which is a sign that it won't be long. It won't be long. Spring will be here. They're coming back in. All right, back with you. Here in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau, go with the home team. More Bully says that player at Montana, because this is about to be his 9th year of eligibility, his nickname should be Petrified. That's how long he's been around. That's how long he's been around. Unnamed texter says, Matt, how many years of eligibility will 2026 be for Mississippi State defensive player Will Whitson? Well, I don't know. Let's see if we can figure it out. Because last year is a medical, correct? Yeah. Last year's a medical because he didn't get to play with an injury in the second game that took him out for the whole year. He was at Coastal Carolina before he came to State. And so let's see. His bio says this. Will Whitson was at Independence Community College in 2020, 21, 22. 3 seasons at Independence Community College, 21 games. Well, how's that 3 seasons then? I guess it's, yeah. Okay, here we go. 3 seasons at Independence Community College, 20, 21, 22. 23, his 4th year, he goes to Coastal Carolina. They call that his senior season. Okay. Then because of COVID, he's back in 24 at Coastal Carolina. They call that his grad season at Coastal Carolina. His grad season 24. So that'd be the 5th year, but he only played in 4 games, and that particular year was an injury that took him out. His last year at Coastal Carolina, injury takes him out. So then he's redoing, because of his deal, he's redoing his grad season last year. Knee injury, second game, he's out. So he's had 2 years. He's basically got a grad year left. It's just the last 2 years he didn't get to have it according to the NCAA, I guess because of injuries. So anyway, that's what it says. Well, but I guess also they don't count 20. So that's what it is. It's that his first year out of high school was the fall season of 20, which the NCAA does not count really against anybody officially. regardless of what language you put in there. So, yeah, I'm counting it up. His first year out of high school was 20, but the COVID year 20 didn't count against anybody. So really, according to them, in terms of actual years, since 20 doesn't count, it's 21, 22 at community college, 23 at Coastal, 24 at Coastal, 25 at State, and that's a red shirt because of the season-ending injury in Game 2, so he's coming back for his 5th. So really it's 5, but it's 6 total because it can't be 7 because 20 didn't count against anybody's eligibility, at least according to the NCAA. Even though everybody played, did something in 20, they just don't count it. So, yeah, like, what are we calling it? Chronologically, it would be 7, but eligibly, it would be 6. This will be the 6th. And he lost his grad year last year because of the injury in the second game. So I guess that's why they just granted it the way they did. Good question. I hadn't looked at all that. Let's see. Patches. Country Please and text line said, eligibility should be like a car warranty. So many years or age, whichever comes first, just set the number. I see what you're saying. You're going maximum. You can play probably. You're probably saying like do away with the red shirt. Just give everybody a maximum of 5 years of playing on the field, or 25 years old. If you hadn't gotten 5 in by the time you hit 25, it's over. Is it, or 24? 25, you're out of school for a little while now. Moose Dog texted us on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, with dynamic pricing, how much might some general admission tickets be for some SEC baseball games like football? Gosh, Moose Dog, I don't know. I don't. The last thing I want to do is tell you wrong, and since I don't really have a clue, I would only be guessing, so I'm just going to not guess out loud. Oh, okay, here he is. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona, weighed in after State drops another home basketball game last night, Tennessee. This time he says, and I quote, on the Country Pleasing text line, fire Chris Jans. Everybody hear that? Okay, to everybody listening who's always on Jason's case because he doesn't want to fire people too quick like the rest of y'all. You need to hear that Jason is officially texting in. It's recorded on the text line. Fire Chris Jans. We got proof of it right there. He said it. We were talking about the weight of that former Mississippi State offensive lineman, Miles O'Keefe, who then went and was a Hollywood actor in the 80s, that in 1973, when he was an offensive lineman at State, I saw a story that said he had ballooned up to 240 pounds. Yeah, see, so a short 20 years later, Gene, in the early to mid-90s, when Purvis Hunt was playing on the offensive line for Jackie Sherrill at State, he was well over 400. I don't know if they listed him over 400, but he probably was. He probably was. All right, regarding State's season opening baseball series begins tomorrow. They're going to host Hofstra, Bulldog, Mississippi, letting us know that Hofstra University of Hempstead and Uniondale, New York, is on Long Island, he says. Everybody's excited. Hail State fans said, one more sleep until baseball season. Have a chance to be good. Brad on Thursday gave us a happy Thursday, hashtag Hail State on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in, Brad. G-Bama Boy is in here with greetings. Yeah, and regarding either a eligibility, years of eligibility or an age limit, and put them out there and say, this is the limit, whichever one comes first. If you're over this amount of age, that's it, the end, not doing it. If you've already exhausted this many years, regardless of age, you're out. You've done it. Bulldog, Mississippi said 5 years max, age limit sounds good. See, I think so too. And then, you know, as I roll over the issue in my head, I always kind of hit a roadblock. I start thinking, well, what would a judge in a court say about them saying this is our limit on age, this is our limit on years? Because everything the NCAA tries to do to restrict transfers, to restrict money, to restrict eligibility, to put some parameters around any of it, anything the NCAA has tried to do from that standpoint, they just get sued for it and lose a lot. So you have to consider that too when you start thinking about it, I think, because they would for sure get sued. Then it's a matter of would it hold up. Staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because
With you. So get in on the conversation and tell him what you think right now on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
It's an interesting stat. Hail State fan said on YouTube, kickers aside, the oldest college football player is Joe Thomas, senior, 55 years old. That was back in 2016, running back for South Carolina State. Man, I'm just telling you, like, that's almost one of those where any 55-year-old who's physically able to go through it, my hat's off. To heck with the rules. You're 55, you can take that beating, stay upright at practice. Legs don't quit on you. Go ahead on, I say. I was looking back, Sven, at your comment about the baseball schedule. If I can find it here. Yeah, he said, we play the hardest schedule in the SEC. By week 3, we're going to know what state's all about. We got Arizona State and LSU. So let me look at this really quickly here with you. Just a quick refresher. Yeah, when you go out the end of this month, beginning of March, out to the little round robin event at Globe Life Field, Arizona State's in there. You play them. You play Virginia Tech. You play UCLA. And that's why you said week 3, right? Because it's Hofstra this week, Delaware the next weekend, and then that deal where you got UCLA and Arizona State out there. Troy in here is a midweek. They're no pushover whatsoever. Lipscomb in the non-con. You're going to play a road Tuesday night again. Well, go to Biloxi. You know what? All right. I have yet to physically attend one of those midweek games in Biloxi. Have always wanted to. I'm going to resolve to go to Biloxi on March the 10th. I just want to see a game there. That'd be a good one to see. Tulane and State before State goes to Fayetteville to start the SEC season. So when you look at the schedule for State, we did this exercise a little bit, kind of touched on it earlier in the week, I think, but yeah, so a month from right now, you'll open the SEC season at Arkansas. So, you know, and the way that is almost regardless of who you are, the way the postseason works. You go to a place like Arkansas, you know, if you win the series, it's just icing on the cake. The deal from an RPI standpoint during the regular season is on the road at places like Arkansas is just make sure you don't get swept. You know, but you go up there and win that series, you'll make a very loud statement right off the bat. Because Arkansas is loaded. Then you'll host Vandy. You'll play Ole Miss in Oxford. You'll host Georgia. You'll host Tennessee. You play South Carolina at their place. You'll host LSU. You will have the Governor's Cup in late April. That will be at Trustmark on April 28th. So you got a midweek with Ole Miss. You'll play Texas out there in Austin. You'll host Auburn, and you'll play A&M out there. It is not an escape. The State does have a tough schedule. You know, but again, kind of the silver lining on the tough schedule stuff in baseball is that, you know, especially with tough road trips, you know, the RPI stuff does kind of take care of you. And we all know that's the whole thing. It really is. Not to, you know, de-emphasize the regular season. It's just you're not, because it factors in, but it's almost like a tougher schedule. Okay, if you got a good team, fine, because it's going to take care of you in the RPI stuff. And it's a matter of, you know, then seeding for postseason and then play your best. Get hot and play your best in the postseason. That's really what you're hoping for. Okay, conversely, let me do this exercise. We'll compare. Sven said the toughest one. I should have left that tab up there so that I didn't have to click on it again, but we'll do it. Okay, and I'm going to compare it with Texas. I told you somebody was talking about how Texas magically this year in baseball is missing pretty much all the teams that are at the top of the SEC. All right. So again, state, just listen to the team names in that order in your SEC slate. Arkansas, Vandy, Ole Miss, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Texas, Auburn, A&M. Texas, on the other hand, they miss everybody. This is Texas. Ole Miss, Auburn, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Alabama, Vandy, State, Tennessee, and Missouri. So Texas does not play Arkansas. They do not play Georgia. They do not play LSU. They miss Kentucky. Who's the other one that's really good that they're missing? They do not play. They do have A&M. But I mean, no LSU, no Georgia, no Arkansas. And they do get on their schedule both South Carolina and Missouri. And they do get Tennessee. But, you know, I know it's maybe a smaller margin than in comparing some schools and other conferences, but it is not, you know, as tough maybe as the one that State's playing. You do definitely have a point there for sure. Real C texted the show. Country Pleasing text line. He says, I was watching out of my hotel room window, State play in Biloxi, when the COVID shutdowns were announced. Says we were down there playing the high school Battle of the Beach annual high school tournament. Would love to go back under better circumstances. How about that? So I guess Real C, when the COVID shutdown happened, it ended. State was playing who? Texas Tech. Am I remembering that right? When that happened, it was somebody like that. And I'm assuming it banged your high school event, so everybody loaded up and went home. What a weird time, man. I'm still embarrassed, personally, that I was talked into the whole mask thing. How silly was that? CB95, what are you talking about? About the 9th year of eligibility for that kid. He said, what the heck, just combine college and NFL? It's almost like doing it, paying them. Get a better contract situation in college ball because you don't have to have a contract. Real C, yeah, it was Texas Tech. He said we all had to leave that night. Man. And then he said he lost his pocket knife at the hotel room. He's still mad about that. Oh, man, Real C, are you one of those? I'm one of those. I can lose something, and whether or not it's of great monetary value is inconsequential. I can lose something, and I'll be thinking about it years later, still be bugging me. Now, where could that have? It'll be a year later, and I'll start looking for it again. Oh, Florida, that's it. Old school Ed, yes. He texted the show and said Texas also misses Georgia and Florida in football. It's clear Texas is the new toy for the SEC. But they miss Florida in baseball, too. That's the other thing. Florida and Kentucky both, Texas misses them. I mean, you know, can it be a coincidence? We were having the same conversation about Texas in football as we are about Texas in baseball, and that's their schedule. Texas this year in baseball, of all the possible schedule arrangements, as many games as you play, they do not play Arkansas. They do not play LSU. They do not play Florida. They do not play Georgia. They do not play Kentucky. I mean, you talk about lucking out. Just the fact that you don't have Arkansas or LSU on the schedule. Add to it, not only do you not have Arkansas or LSU, you also don't have Georgia or Florida on there. I mean, how did Texas pull that off? I don't know. I don't know. Sure is strange, though. All right. Hour 1 is in the books. Hour 2 coming up right after this. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. That's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand new.
Need to know right here on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. Hour 2 off and running on this Thursday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all over the state of Mississippi. We are on baseball eve. If you're a college baseball fan around here, we're on baseball eve. You know, we talked earlier in the week, of course, State and Ole Miss both opening at home. What about Southern Miss is hosting who this week? Why can't I find it? UC Santa Barbara. All right. UC Santa Barbara. And I think we're looking at 4 p.m. first pitch in Hattiesburg tomorrow. I'll tell you what. And by the way, too, Annabeth, the homecoming queen, if you're listening on the stream somewhere, just know that, yeah, you've gotten it to the point where I when I say Hattiesburg, I am already a little bit insecure because I can hear you in my ear going, Hattiesburg. Just know that I'm thinking about it. Let's do the schedule for baseball. Why not? Tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m., first pitch, Pete Taylor Park, Hattiesburg, Southern Miss, UC Santa Barbara. They've got whoever, you look at, I think D1 Baseball thinks a lot of Southern Miss. They've got them in the top 20 to start the year. Coach Oz and company expected to be really good. So in the morning, out there at Globe Life Field, you get Oklahoma, Texas Tech. I think it's 11 Central. Then at noon in Columbia, you get South Carolina, Northern Kentucky. 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, LSU hosting Milwaukee at the Box. Also at 2, over in Athens, Georgia at Foley Field, Georgia Bulldogs hosting Wright State. One of these non-conference deals, it may be the same thing that Oklahoma's in out there in Arlington. I think it is. At 3, it's a heck of a matchup tomorrow, actually. TCU and Vandy, a couple of highly thought of teams. 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, Kentucky is opening at UNC Greensboro, playing on the road to start the year. I think they've got a doubleheader scheduled for South Carolina and Northern Kentucky tomorrow. They must have weather moving in over the weekend, too. Tennessee hosting Nichols tomorrow at 3:30. Basically a new stadium, right? They spent all that money on that new baseball stadium there in Knoxville. Ole Miss and Nevada at 4. That's in Oxford. In Tuscaloosa, you got Alabama versus Washington State at 4. Must be some kind of event going on for Missouri. I don't know, but they're in Fort Myers, Florida. It's Missouri and Mount St. Mary's at 4. We got a 4 p.m. first pitch for State versus Hofstra at the Dude. And then we get into the evening, 5:30 Central. Florida Gators down there at their park in Gainesville hosting UAB. 6 p.m. Central. We get Texas A&M hosting Tennessee Tech tomorrow. 6 o'clock tomorrow night, Auburn. First pitch with Youngstown State at Plainsman Park. Freshly renovated, a couple of years ago maybe? 6:30 tomorrow night, Texas and UC Davis in Austin. And then the last game of that event that starts this weekend out at Globe Life Field in Arlington is tomorrow night at 7, Arkansas versus Oklahoma State. And so there you go. A little bit of a look at the top 25. Okay. I think it's pointless. But since you have do we have to do top 25? Because it really doesn't matter, does it? I mean, who cares who's ranked this time of year? I'm not going to go on the rant. I'm not going to do it. Just know that if you've never heard the rant before, the premise of the rant is how silly it is to rank 25 teams in a sport like college baseball when 64 teams are getting in the tournament at the end of the year. And baseball, especially a sport where any of those 64, well, certainly any of about 50 to 54 of them can easily make a run and be one of the last 16 of them left or anything like that. So look, it's really silly ranking top 25 teams in college baseball. But I digress. Wake Forest and Houston, man, are they playing an early game? It's early for us. There is some kind of college baseball event going on this weekend in Ponce, Puerto Rico. How'd I do? Or as one of my friends says, Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico. Yeah, because it's early morning. You got like an early morning game if you wanted to watch it. I don't know. I'm assuming you could watch it online somewhere. Wake Forest versus Houston at like 8:30 in the morning here. And then there's another few games out there. Louisville and Michigan State. North Carolina's supposed to be good this year. They're going to start off with Indiana. Clemson's got Army. Coastal Carolina's got Fairfield. Okay, enough of that. Here's another one too. So Sven brought it up that, in 3 weekends, so the third week of the year, State's in that event out in Texas, little round robin event. One of the games they'll play is against UCLA, who is starting the year at number 1, according to everybody. Well, if you wanted to get a look at them, you could. Number 1, UCLA. It'll be a 7 p.m. Central Time for us, 7 p.m. versus UC San Diego. I don't know. Again, maybe there's some way to watch some stream of UCLA baseball tomorrow night if you wanted to. Maybe. Sven said the only clear L, meaning loss, I expect for state baseball is UCLA. He says any other team, we have a real shot to beat them. Hard schedule or not, if we want to be the best, you're going to have to beat the best. Yeah, that's right. And what do you think about this, Sven? I toy with this mindset a little bit in baseball. Maybe it's overthinking, but I don't think it is. And there's some experience that plays into thinking this way too. Hear me out. If you take a team like State, right? First year head coach, first year staff for the most part, but you do have the consistency of Justin Parker as your pitching coach. There's a few players back from the team a year ago, but a whole bunch of new. So probably as much or more so than a lot of these all the teams have got new players, and it's a transfer atmosphere and all that. Everybody's got portalitis, and that's how they're building their teams. But of all those, State's kind of at the top of newness, right? They are very talented. It's right to have some high expectations. Okay, but there is a whole lot of newness also. And I just think that I'm not making an excuse for State. They say they're going to run toward the expectations. That's good. Fine to have high expectations. It's just baseball. Play ball. But in reality, if there are times in the regular season where with this talented group, it is about learning how to be a cohesive unit, throughout your staff, throughout your bullpen, who's in the right spots where you become an everyday at that position and you're an everyday at this part of your lineup. where all that if it takes a little while for all of that to really form into this is what we are and who we are, it's really okay as long as you're not getting swept on the road and losing series at home, and you manage all that and you have it therefore all figured out and kind of now stamped and ironed and ready to go for the postseason, because that's really what it's all about. I'm not at all trying to damper, the heightened anticipation of the season opening, an opening weekend starting tomorrow. I'm just saying the real deal is get it all ironed out so that whatever seeding and whatever postseason position you find yourselves in, you're able to go play your best when it matters, and that's in the NCAA tournament and make a run. I just think that's probably realistic. There are some teams, they all have transfers and some new guys, but there are some teams that are a little more put together, and it is a little more carryover from last year to this. It's a lot of new for state. It's just a reality. Headlines coming up. Stick around.
This is Jake Mang.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Ogeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roasted right there. That's whole mean. One more. I got more. Try.
Zone 105.9 and worldwide at the zone1059.com.
Yeah, and that might be why they're number one. A big reason, right? Sven says on YouTube, UCLA is a team full of juniors and seniors, plus the best player in college ball at shortstop. Man, I mean, the older you are, the better you are. You know something too, Sven? I bet we haven't quite, I know I haven't quite appreciated that enough, talked about it enough. Coaches, they know. Don't have to talk about it. They know sort of inherently the tremendous value there is in experience and older guys. And so you look at the proliferation of the transfer portal and the way that once it became a thing that was possible, it just overnight just went like, and we point our finger and, you know, how dare you coaches tampering and, you know, you that's why is for them the payoff of, and they knew it from the word go. They didn't need someone to tell them, hey, you should try to have an older team. The payoff from day one was immediate to trade young players for old ones. Less high school guys, more fifth-year guys. I mean, it's just no wonder it took off the way it did because they know it. And I think, yeah, Indiana football. I was just about to say that. Sven said, ask Mr. Signetti. He'd tell you all about experience. It's true. You know, and you could hear it explained in all kinds of different ways. I remember when I was a senior at State, maybe I had just finished my senior year, and I was talking with Kevin Fant. Kevin was a freshman that year, first-year guy. We were just talking. And Kevin was one of those, like, he was a big recruit, and you could see, too, the talent and the ability, you know, as a freshman in practice and everything. Great guy. And we were talking one day, and I was explaining to him, man, you know, high school is one thing, the way you felt when you were a senior, you know, in high school, you just kind of had it all. It's like it's comfortable. You really enjoy playing because you kind of can do what you want to do for the most part. And I said, but it's a whole different level of comfortable at this level in college when, you know, the way I felt as a freshman and sophomore going out there, you're playing and you've earned the playing time. You're trying to do your job and win games within that and all. But sometimes as a young player, it all moves fast and there's a lot of situations you feel like you're just trying to hold on to the rope and not let it get away from you. Versus when I was a senior, man, and I went out there as a senior, it was such a drastic difference. The way the game had completely slowed down. Mentally, all the little things and checking at the line and moving alignment and what the defense is doing and getting in the right play and handling the play clock with it and getting the, you know, all of that stuff was just so second nature by that time. You didn't have to worry about it. It was so much easier to just loosen up and go play. So you walk out and you're the oldest player on the field. Everybody's younger than you. You're like, this is no big deal. Let's go win the game. And you didn't always win, but you won a lot because it's almost hard to describe the difference of being one of the youngest players on the field and how that felt versus being the oldest guy on the field and how that felt. And I remember explaining that or telling that to Kevin when he was young. And then you fast forward, he was an older guy as a senior. And he played on some teams. They didn't quite have the lines of scrimmage that we had. They didn't win as many games, but still he was really good and playing well. And I heard an interview that he gave when he became an older quarterback, and he actually referenced the conversation that he had with me like 4 years earlier. He said, I talked to Matt. I remember when he said, you get to be a senior. It's crazy how different it feels when you walk out on the field as the old guy, how everything has just completely slowed down. You can really free up and play. And he said it was true for him. And I think it's true for everybody. So that's kind of a, player's experience. Coaches know that because they obviously see it. And I guarantee you another part of it, Sven, with guys like Cignetti and others, I guarantee you another part of it is, the benefit of older players, older team, therefore, but also because you are paying them all. You don't have a choice. They're not coming, period, at any age, out of high school or the portal unless you pay them gobs of money. Well, naturally, who's going to handle that better? The gobs of money in your pocket. Certainly a 23, 24 is going to handle that a whole lot better than an 18. Just more life experience under your belt. So I think everything about it points to me, part of what has poured rocket fuel on the transfer portal. And if you can get rid of a young player with the same ability and replace it with an older player with the same ability, do it tonight. Break any rule, do it. There's part of the reason that coaches have taken that approach. The payoff is immediate. I think they feel that way. Let's see. Sven said on YouTube, we had the team after Coach Leach passed away. That team with the Pirate goes at least 10-2. You know what, Sven? Somebody else brought that up to me. It was Stafford Sheridan, the gas station food reviews guy. But he's not just that. He's a restaurant owner, farmer, former judge, sharp guy. He went to state. I was on his podcast the other night. He actually brought that up. I hadn't even thought about it that much. But he said, boy, I tell you, he said, I feel like, Coach Leach had it right about where he wanted it. And they would have been a good team had he not tragically passed away right there. I thought, well, yeah, probably. Because he'd have been playing with a super experienced quarterback in his system in Rodgers. You had Bookie Watson, Jet Johnson defensively, Woody Marks on the offensive side. And Dylan Johnson, yeah. And Dylan Johnson. Yeah, so it might have been fun that year. Blair from Brandon texted in. First, he told me that tomorrow at 9 a.m. you're going to have Marshall and Evansville at Mickey Dunn Stadium, home of Kennesaw State. You can have a morning baseball game just up the road. And then he told me, he says, because 23 and 24-year-old players know that's the most that they're going to make, and they'd already be a pro, just saying. I mean, that's what I'm saying. All signs point to that being a much better investment right now. And, man, they have jumped all over it. I mean, no wonder Ole Miss wants to do anything they've got to do to get their quarterback back for another year. I mean, I'm sure they've got some young, really talented ones on there. But he's already shown you what he can do. He's older. He's also shown you that, you can fill up his bank account. It's not going to affect him mentally. Solid guy and experienced, good, probably 23, 24 years old, something like that. No wonder they'd pull out every stop they can to keep him, get him to play another year. State grad 98 texted and said, I was happy when I got elevated to second string JV my senior year. He says, I actually got a hit off of some scrub seventh grader in a game. Hey, at least you got to play. Playing football is a lot of fun. Some of the other stuff's not. J-Rock texted the show, said, hey, Matt, with that schedule, Mississippi State has, with that schedule Mississippi State has, playing a couple of games over 500 in the SEC, which is going to be hard to do, and going 20-5 in the non-conference. That'd be 37 wins in regular season. He said that would probably be enough to host. That's kind of how I was thinking about it when you looked at just who they are and where they are. Because, one, those highly rated RPI opponents really help you. State's got a bunch of those. Going to have a bunch. Well, and look where some of them are, J-Rock. I mean, it's Arkansas on the road. If you just somehow avoid getting swept by Arkansas on the road, that's going to be a huge RPI boost. The Ole Miss deal, but you get it on the road, right? The South Carolina deal, you get that on the road. A&M to finish it up. Let's say you're within a couple of points, you're hovering around 500. You go pick up one win at A&M the last weekend of the year. It's a big RPI boost. So because of the schedule, oh yeah, and neutral site versus UCLA and Arizona State, big RPI boost in the long run, no doubt about it. Good point. Staying connected because of C Spire, the #1 network. Back after this.
Ever imagine?
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer-related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash, and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local, agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road.
Worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt. Sven said on YouTube, South Carolina will not be good. I like Coach Maneri, but they don't have a chance. I still desire to go see a baseball series up there at their park, too. I laid eyes on it empty for a football game. I went and looked at it recently, but it's a beautiful park now. You know, fairly recently that it's newly built, renovated, whatever, but kind of underrated, I think, in terms of the parks around the league. People will do these lists of these parks. Their venue at South Carolina is great. You know, so if they were good, they could fill it up. It'd really be great. They're struggling right now. Wes texted the show. FYI, Bassmaster Classic started this morning at Lake Martin. Springs in the air. Signed, Go Dogs. Lake Martin in Alabama. They'll be weighing in a bunch of spots. Spotted bass. It's full of them. Of course, they got largemouth too. It'll be a spotted bass. Bassmaster Classic. Nothing wrong with that. They are fun to catch. They just don't get as big as the largemouth, certainly the Florida strain. But you're right. Springs in the air. I was saying earlier in the first hour, West, my dad was texting me that he put up his gourds yesterday and he saw his first purple martin today, which means, yes, spring's on the way. The first official day of spring, that equinox is what? I think we said it was just right over a month from now. It's like March the 20th or something like that. So it'll be here soon. Sooner, though, headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Anything mortgage related, buying, refinancing a house, that's where you want to go. Look them up online at mortgagemanms.com. Wonderful people. You'll be glad you did it. State and Ole Miss both lost at home in basketball last night. Ole Miss got thumped by Alabama, 19-point loss. Tide scored 93. In the hump, State came up short, 9-point loss at home to Tennessee. Both State and Ole Miss are 3-8 in the league. Montana linebacker Solomon Tuliaupupu. That's his name. It is a correct pronunciation. Solomon Tuliaupupu will return for the 2026 season after being granted a 9th year of eligibility. He turns 26 next month. He's entering his second season at Montana after starting his college career at USC in 2018. And then there's this. In a letter to NCAA President Charlie Baker, the Big Ten Conference Student Athlete Issues Commission has called for a continued push to limit or outright ban prop bets based on individual college athletes to reduce harassment and protect mental health and game integrity. Here's what it said. They wrote on Tuesday that student athletes are receiving angry messages, threats, or criticism from bettors when they lose, including from fans who are sitting behind the bench, quote, yelling horrible things, and on social media. A 2025 study of more than 20,000 student athletes found that 51% of Division I men's basketball players had received social media abuse based on their performance, much of it coming from the gamblers, bettors themselves. And there's that. Those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. mortgagemanms.com. I have to note something. I want to note something. One of my heroes and somebody to this day I still look up to passed away on this day, February the 12th, 2000. 26 years ago today, he passed away. The incomparable, the greatest cartoonist of all time, Charles Schulz, the creator of Charlie Brown and the Peanuts comic strip. Charles Schulz, all his close friends called him Sparky. He was born in 1922, passed away on this day in 2000. He got his first comic strip, published in 1958. The most influential cartoonist in history. Born in Minnesota, by the way. Really interesting. If you've never watched maybe a Charles Schulz documentary, I recommend it. It's whatever the opposite of boring is. I mean, it's incredible. You know, it's just fascinating. He's got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. No comic strip in the history of them has ever made more money than the Peanuts comic strip. And for 50-something years, get this, here's the thing. For 50-something years, he himself drew and wrote and submitted every single Peanuts comic strip that you ever saw, 7 days a week for 50-something years. It was never farmed out to anyone else. Nothing. He himself, every single one of them, drawn by his hand, dreamed up in his head, dialogue written by him and only him. For over 50 years. 7 days a week for 50 years. That in and of itself is incredible. But also, not once in 50-something years, not one single time, was even so much as a little bit of vulgarity found in a Peanuts comic strip. Not one blank or bleep, not even so much as a toilet itself. Everything was as pure as it gets. It's a story that to me is just absolutely incredible. His story, his ability, I don't even know how you quantify it or compare it. I don't think you can. And when he passed away, it's not something that's like, dreamed up and manufactured and made for Hollywood. When he passed away, it was just hours before his final strip was to appear in the Sunday newspaper, comics in papers in, all across the world. His final one, he'd already made the decision that because of failing health that he was going to retire from doing it. He'd already produced the final one. It was the last Peanuts comic strip drawn by his hand. It was the last one. It was going to be in the Sunday edition of everybody's paper on that Sunday, February the 12th, 2000. And overnight, before everyone saw it that next morning, is when he passed away. In the most Charlie Brown fashion, just hours before the final one was going to go out. He is incredible. Passed away on this day, February 12th, 2000. All right, a little bit of time left with you here today on this Thursday. When we come back, more of your texts, more of your comments, and then we'll wrap things up and head on into Friday. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in, be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Deli's, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people.
And get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. Sven commented on YouTube. He said, sad side note. Today I was at the biggest sports store in Berlin. It occupies 8 floors in the middle of town there. He said, I couldn't get a single Mississippi State shirt. All they had was Bama, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. So we see which 3 are international. Notre Dame, not surprising, and I guess Bama and Ohio State, right? What are we going to do about that, Sven? How are we going to get your store in Berlin? 8 floors? A sports store that's 8 stories? Or 8 floors of some building in Berlin? Pretty cool. Yeah, but we got to get you some gear somehow. And I guess it would be better if you could buy it locally as opposed to having to, get it shipped to you. I don't know. White Denzel texted the show. He says, it's a sign that someone's looking out for you when you find the best Reese's Cup flavor on clearance at Walmart. Man, I love when Valentine's season hits. And look what it is. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups Red Velvet. It's red velvet flavored Reese's Cups. If I say Reese's Cups, Annabeth hates it. She hates my pronunciation of that. I think Beaver and I might have talked about that at some point, that we realized there was a red velvet flavor of that out there somewhere. I was going back, and remembering Charles Schultz. He passed away on this day in 2000. Some other things from the past here as I get all set to pour some more hot coffee in my mug from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Go to highpointroasters.com. Get your coffee right there. The oldest coffee roasters in Mississippi. They'll ship it to your house. Big 1-pound bags. Not going to run out anytime soon. And single origin from all over the world. Blends they've devised over the years. It's good stuff. highpointroasters.com. On this day in 2002, baseball owners approved the sale of the Florida Marlins and the Montreal Expos. On this day in 2002. And pretty soon, we didn't have any Expos. We had Nationals. The Washington Nationals. And I know it's dangerous to always think nostalgically, because not everything that you romanticize about nostalgically is better or was better. Some of it went the way of the dodo because of those things. Nobody bought tickets, but we can agree the Expos were cool. Their uniforms were phenomenal. Bring them back. Why don't they ever do that? When people, the large part of your audiences, and even, non-fans who are just interested in the sport, whether it's like the Dolphins in the NFL, Broncos, or the National/Expos in baseball, why don't they ever bring that stuff back when it was better? What you were, the way you looked and your logos and stuff. And if you want to see something really interesting, I won't go through it now, but look into, you could Google it, the really interesting detail in the graphic design of like the Expos logo. Do the same thing also for the old Brewers, Milwaukee Brewers logo. And people back in the day, before there even was a Photoshop, still, the old school graphic designers, they came up with some really cool stuff. There are things and little Easter eggs in those logos that you might not have ever realized were in there. Go look them up. Speaking of baseball, this goes way back. On this day in 1880, the National Croquet League was organized in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, here's what I want to know. Does it still exist? Do we have a National Croquet League? When's the last time you played croquet? And what happened to it? Because when I was a kid, growing up in Alabama, a child of the 80s, born in the 70s, a child of the 80s, some of the 90s, everybody had one of those things. You had a croquet set, jammed back in the corner of your storage closet out in the carport or something with your fishing stuff, and your lawn darts. Whatever happened to croquet? Nobody plays croquet anymore. It's dead. Everybody used to have a croquet set. Not anymore. That's a true story. In the world of television, on this day in 1989, CBS aired the 100th episode of... Do you recognize it? Yeah, Murder, She Wrote. Now, I always thought it was a show for old folks. It started in 1984. It went 12 seasons into 1996. I never watched it. Angela Lansbury, classic, superstar. Okay, listen, never watched it. I thought it was a show for old folks. Now that I'm old, I want to go back and watch it. Angela Lansbury. Phenomenal. Theme song. It's a phenomenal theme song. And then also, born on this day in 1809, the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. You realize that he would have been 56 years old when he was assassinated at Ford's Theater in 1865 following the conclusion of the Civil War. 16th President Abraham Lincoln, born on this day, February the 12th, 1809. White Denzel texts and said, people still play croquet. Unfortunately, those people play at those real fancy country clubs like Country Club of Jackson. Do they really? Wherever it is, I think it's cool if they're still playing it. I'll say there was always a croquet set around when I was a kid. Never learned the rules. Yeah, okay, we have this thing, this stick with a mallet on the end of it. These weird, whatever that ball's made of, it's heavy. Knock it through the little wire arch deal. I knock it through that. I know that, but the rules of the game, I never learned them. Clay texted the show and said, I still have a set in my shed. My grandkids love it. See? In the shed. I'll be really impressed, Clay, if they know the rules. More Bully. He tried his best to be real funny today. More Bully texted and said, all croquet sets are in Nantucket. Really? Croquet and badminton. Anybody still playing those? B, would you ever play badminton? What about croquet? You ever played croquet? Why is it pronounced that way? Why can't we just say Crockett? Yeah. I don't know. I do know that by the time we get on the air tomorrow, it'll be game day. We'll be looking forward to that. We'll have something special for you tomorrow for about an hour. and then head off to baseball tomorrow afternoon. And I will tell you, for the Wyatts, it is Disciple Now weekend at our church, which anybody that's ever been a part of a Baptist church and you have what's called D Now, you know what that means. Staying up late, because it's a youth thing. The youth are all having their Disciple Now weekend, all kinds of activities, and they all stay in their age groups at host homes in the area. And man, we'll have activities and be staying up late. A couple of years, might have been last year, I was at a skating rink at like midnight one night for this Disciple Now thing. You talk about feeling old. They were loving it. I had my head down on the table trying to get some sleep. True story. The skating rink. True story. But looking forward to that too. So now we'll wrap it up for Thursday. Head on into Friday for all of us here on the show. For Beaver, I'm Matt. Everybody in the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. We'll see you tomorrow. See ya.